And now that we've got the overall base coat and everything on here, and again, I don't need to go through some kind of complex. Oh, this is the same color as the Graphs-P and the Bismuth. No, just simple gray primer is perfectly fine for this, especially since you're going to be covering it with dull coats and gloss coats and everything else. So just need the base coat. And technically, something that was covered in, I think it was a Hobby Talk thread. The model is molded in what is supposed to be the actual color of the thing. So theoretically, I guess, you could just not apply any outer color at all. Just go with, the gloss coat and dull coat, and it should come out looking fine. This is a problem, though, if you're doing lights, because you're going to have to do some painting because the fantail that goes on the back on this thing is clear. It's got to be painted. And unless you get the exact same match as the plastic here, that's bare plastic there. Unless you can match that color exactly, you're going to be painting the thing anyway. So pick a shade of gray you like and go with it. Now, if you're doing a first pilot version where there's no lights in the back there, yeah, whatever, knock yourself out. I'd be very interested in seeing the results of a one come out and find out. Would it work fine? Just going with the bare plastic covered, with the dull coat, gloss coat, weathering decals. Although, frankly, if you're going that old, the pilot versions really weren't weathered, especially the first pilot. There was a little bit, but not much. Just enough to make it look like, it's a full-size ship and not an 11-foot model on a string. And yes, in the first pilot, they hung the model. It was like a eye hook right back here, and it hung from there. Other than that, yeah, they figured this thing's too damn big and expensive. If that thing breaks, we're screwed. So they rigged up a stand and they're on. But first time, yeah. But I figured I'm not going to do the bridge interior. That's just a bridge too far for me at this point. I might do it later as a standalone thing. But for the interior of the model, no. For one thing, I don't agree with the bridge being that far up. My concept is the bridge dome. You're just seeing the top half because the original pilot version it was about twice this height. And with that situation, yeah, the bridge right there at the bottom of that dome. My theory is the bridge was not chopped in half; it was lowered inside the thing. It's still at the bottom of the dome, just the bottom of the dome is now moved down some. Probably took out that big briefing room that we saw in the first two pilots. No big loss. There are other briefing rooms. So, but something like this, you gotta plot it out here and you figure out where you're gonna start. And I start, okay. Since a lot of this stuff is really interior, saving the exterior stuff for last is really kind of pointless. At that point, it's 3 feet long, it's big, it's bulky, you're gonna miss stuff. No. So get a lot of that stuff out of the way now. And this is going to be awkward because I did end up gluing this in place. Thinking I could probably run the wires through this thing. So I'm going to see if we can do that now. First, going to find the instructions for the lighting kit. There we are. Find out which wires go up through the struts. And again, I'm not worried about, because one of the dumb moves they did when they did the remastered with the new CGI effects is lighting up these things in the struts. There's really no conclusive thing that these are even actually windows, okay? So why the hell would they be lit? At all. There's certainly nobody staying up here. It's like a glorified crawlway. But let's see. Is okay, wire K. It's going to be jumping around a little bit from time to time, but that's M. Thankfully, everything is very clearly labeled on this kit, even the lighting kit. Mind you, this is the original lighting kit. There is an updated version that has a switch attached, which is very convenient. I'm going to try and find K. Come on, give me a number here. K, there's one. Oh, well, okay. And they're already plugged into the thing. All right, you. I'm going to unplug some of this. Because I was testing stuff a while back. So, all right. I think I can probably... Well, maybe not. That's going to be running down through the hall. So, no, then I have to unplug it. No, too much. There we go. Plug at least one of these guys. Pretty sure when I was testing this stuff, I did make a point of not completely latching in there, because this is just testing to make sure certain things work. In this case, the nacelle domes, or the Buzzards. Let's see what we got here. Here's the gap. And certain things you probably should have thought of before doing all this. Alright. I can get these wires to start going up. No, that's not going to work. That's got to stay down the bottom. What you might want to do here. That should give it enough to stay together and get up that damn shaft. There we go. Now, I can get a little bit. Huh. Can't really see what you're looking. Yep. Ah, there we are. I can see it now. If I can get to it. And again, this is the approach of. So he's never going to be a Wonderfest showing off this thing. One, I'm not sure I could ever even get to Wonderfest where I'm at. Oh, come on, you. Dang it. Now this is just something that will satisfy my geeky little dreams of having a nice, big, accurate version of the Enterprise. Okay, got it. Come on. All right, there. Come on, you swine. that's going to be an edit. Come on, you. God. This thing does not want to go up there. This is my good hand. All right, come on, you swine, get up here. Ah! There you go. All right. All right. Going to go 2 nuts because I'm not sure if that's enough. Right about there. And with that, this thing can probably be glued in place now. The very least to go up to about there. So it'll slide. So. For now, though, I'm just going to tape this back together. So it's an important thing to make sure you're using tape, masking tape that's less than, say, 10, 15 years old. I don't know how old this roll is. This is stuff I pulled out of storage along with it. And also, oh, you're talking about my power. Where's that freaking model? And we got this model. Almost 10 years ago. This was when they first did the correction with getting rid of the grid lines on the saucer and correcting the little bit on the underside of the saucer. So this is not something I rushed out where I'm spending the rent money on this. This is when we had the back pay on Steph's disability things, and that was not. It was. That's gonna be he's got a disability thing. They will. One nice thing they do is they will give you a back payment. And then they don't just go by when you claim. When were you injured? And it had been like a couple of years since she had her issue. So we got God, I think a couple of years, I think almost. So we had some fun for a while there. Okay, good. This one looks like I'm not going to have to do any major histrionics. Yeah, there we go. It's so nice when it doesn't fight you. Yes, very nice. Okay. All right. Whoops. Dang it. And again, this is just to hold it in place. So I don't get any untoward workings here. So yeah. Again, the main thing is to plot it. Just what are where are you going with this thing? Because directions are good, but at some point you got to figure, okay, do I really want to do it in this order? And this is one of those rare, when this ship where most of us know it backwards, forwards, and blindfolded almost. And you can kind of plot it. Okay, do I really need to do the bridge at this point here? You know, more often than not, you are better off to follow the direct, especially something like this, yeah, where it is pretty complex and everything. But it's figuring, okay, what what's the most annoying part of this model going to be, you know? And I think in this case, it's going to be setting up all the interior lights and all that. And this is where it's going to get into real pain in the butt, because the lights are these light strips, LED strips. And I've kept these things in here the whole time because I didn't want to mess with them. But they are rather ingenious. Looking at these things here, it's like, I'm guessing these two suckers here will go on the neck. But you gotta cut them apart, and there's gonna be some soldering involved here, apparently. And I do think I will light the interior of the nacelles, not just the Bussards. Because, it was something that Gene was looking at originally. Problem is, at the time, it's like, we're going to have to rebuild the entire nacelle, and we can't afford that, okay? We can do your blinky lights on the domes, but that's it. Okay. Because, I think the rear hat. Let's see, grab a nacelle. On the 11-footer, I believe, let's see. There we go. I think from about here forward is roll of sheet metal. And they had, the workings in there. Back here, I don't know. I know there is a definite delineation there, but I think from here on back, I think it may have been wood, or so. Well, man, they probably made the entire thing rolled sheet metal, or at least it's not solid wood. That would have been too damn heavy, and probably expensive. Okay, this is gonna be a problem here. Maybe some putty work involved here, but not much. And that's mainly just the correct screw-ups on my part of trying to trim things up. But yeah, I think we probably... got some of the light strips involved, LED strips in there. Still won't be able to close it up for quite a while, though, because there's still too much wiring to connect up. Let's see, I think I got the coverage on that pretty well. Getting about time we can probably put together the deflector. But yeah, I think... you're taking this apart here. Yeah, one here. Whoop, hey maker. And one there. So yeah, and that's just about the right size for both of them. I'm gonna have to figure out if it's worth it to just put them in place and then wire and then solder in the connections, or solder them first and then try and glue them in place. I think it's going to be a pain in the butt either way, but I don't want to put that there. Actually, we got the baggie, use the baggie. Put it back into baggie. And these little jewels here, because some of it's got to go in the secondary hull, some in the primary hull, and some of this in the nacelles. So figure out the links for all that. That's gonna be a walk in the park. Yeah, what can go wrong? It'll be fine. Alright. I'm not gonna do any actual lights. think, now that I'm talking about it though, I think I can get a couple of LEDs in place. Because I'm also not 100% decided whether or not to do the shuttle bay interior or not. I think I got to do a certain amount of it just for the the structural integrity of the ship. Because too much of it kind of relies on that being there. But the thing is, with the clear parts that came with the lighting kit, I gotta take this, I think. Hello?
You're receiving this call on behalf of Advanced Financial Help and non-profit.
Yeah, robocalls I can't even speak straight. I'm going to bother with. Okay, so a garbled robocall. All right. So let's see. Again, I'm not even going to bother with the bridge interior, so I might as well put the. Dang it. Get back here. All right. Get back here. Let's go ahead. And secure our first clear part. Yeah. So far I've been avoiding these guys. I have, gotten some of them loose. Let's say just, where they are, but glue here somewhere. There you are. Yeah. An actual blade on this. Alright. One of the wonderful things dug out of storage and said, oh yes, I remember having this. And this is, Some of us point out the difference between clear parts and opaque ones. The clear ones, this is just because the polystyrene is a combination of different things. You got the little colored bits in there that give you the color, and then of course you got the resin that makes it all form into a thing. This is nothing but resin. This is just the pure polystyrene whatever resin there. But as such, it's very brittle. All the colored bits on this type of thing is what gives us a little bit of, sturdiness and flexibility. But clear parts is nothing but the resin, and as a result, they're very brittle. That's why clear parts are a bit of a pain in the butt to deal with. Let's go ahead. Anyway, I've already got this light blocked inside. Got, main thing important is black first for the light blocking, and white, not silver. White. You want to scatter the light, not reflect it. You want to scatter it all over the place. The silver just reflect it back where it's going in. Don't get the same result. So let's go ahead and just see about our first sub-assembly here. I'm not going to go crazy here. Not going to worry too much about fingerprints because one I can always wipe them off afterwards. But also, this thing is going to have between the dull coats and the gloss coat and everything else here. This thing will be very well frosted before all is done. Let me just get that. I don't think I'm going to. Now, one thing I noted in the weathering decals said to put them on before you put on the markings, the registry and all that. I disagree with that. Because that's assuming they're just going to, what? The markings don't get weathered along with the rest of the ship? Or they're going to just put the markings on a dirty ship without cleaning it up for it? No, I don't agree with that. I'm going to count that as a typo. I think they meant the other way around. So before I put the weathering decals, will be one of the last things I put on that thing decal wise. I'm gonna put the I'll get it all livered up and marked first, then throw down another gloss coat, and then go with the weathering decals. But I think I'm gonna. Yeah, okay, I was going to do the hanger, I think. Okay, and we got a response, actually, on the last one. Okay, no, Rust-Oleum this is Rust-Oleum I got. The kind I was using was Walmart now. Put a response on here. There we go. So that's it. Yeah, no Rust-Oleum. You say Rust-Oleum? No, Rust-Oleum's doing fine. I was using Walmart's brand, and they discontinued their gray. And I'm still not happy because I like that shade of gray a little better. Just a slightly darker. But yeah. Let's see. Hello.
Hello. Are you there?
What's this about?
Hi, this is Julie with the Medicare Department at Healthcare Benefits.
No, it isn't. The robocall. The robocall. The big click of that bloop at the very beginning, that's a robocall. Okay. Very rarely gotten a live call after that noise. So. Okay, now I was going to... Let's see. Got little fiddly bits in this thing down here to keep them separate. And let's see if I can... 9-volt battery. Make sure... And actually these guys coming here with a big help in deciding to continue on this little venture. See if I can... Alright, now which one's which? It's positive, so... Oh, come on, you. Alright, well, it lights up. There's not enough power in the battery to generate anything else, but at least it lights up. And that was a... Damn you. Fully charged 9-volt, though, you can spin the spin the light, spin the thing, and... No, this is the one. Okay. It's making noise. I don't think the dome's on there all the way. Hold on. Let's see. Come here, you. No, let's try it. But anyway, so these work. As soon as I can get them to work with the AC, then we're in business. Oh, Jesus Christ. Globe, Arizona. Hello?
Hello?
What's this about?
Hi, sir. My name is Richard, and I'm calling from the healthcare support. How are you doing today?
Richard? Somebody with a very effeminate voice calling themselves Richard.
What?
From the healthcare front. Yeah. All right. Now, let's get back to business here. There's going to be so many edits, and this is not even funny. All right. So we have here. This is the fantail. This was the clear one that came out of the lighting kit. And I'm going to break this back out. I need to scrape off the paint off the bits that light up. Doesn't matter which one. This one just need a pointy part. And again, this is the bit. If you're going to have this on there, you're going to end up painting the kit because there we go. Jeez. That's got a little touch up. Of course, this also brings up another problem in doing this, trying to find transparent paints. They're becoming harder and harder to find these days. God damn it. Especially in just simple little red, blue, green colors. Oh, shit. There goes the phone. Alright, and yeah, damn it. There's one thing, these are rather shallow indentations, so it's very easy for the little pokey thing, whatever you use, to slip out of an indentation and scratch up the rest of the paint. So be careful with that. But yeah, I don't know if you can. Yeah, well, you can somehow see up there. Light does pass through it. Trust me on that. I mean, it's a clear out stuff. Might do a little later. Got that. All right. Before I end up stepping on it or rolling over it with a chair. What do we got here?
Eventually.
Oh boy. Tweet from Jeremy Clarkson. I was convinced James May to buy something mad, and today he did the same to me. Jezzer, you don't need much convincing to buy something completely mad. You've done that all on your own. I simply direct you to your ex-wife and a certain, decommissioned Aria fighter that adorned your front garden for a while there. All right, so I'm not sure where else I can go with this right now, but that's the thing, A lot of it is plot out, which is something I really haven't done, apparently. Plot out what you're going to do, especially with a kid of this complexity. And like most, kids, get the sub-assembly stuff out of the way, but also, again, I think people are doing mask off the windows and stuff. That's why I think, no, I'm not going to go with window masks and all that nonsense. Paint the ship first. Save the windows for, when you're finally starting to put together and then put in. But I'm not going to be masking off windows and all that damn thing. Like I said, if I'm really concerned about those struts, I'll just scrape the paint off of that. But I think too much, this is not really a conventional kit. So it's probably best not to think of it in conventional terms. So, let's see. I'm not sure what else I can do here. This one, this does need a couple more pieces there, and that would be on the red. Find those. It also helps if you have a properly set up workplace, but then a properly set up workplace wouldn't really allow for doing videos. So, okay, let's see, 106. So I think that's it. I'll confirm that. So there we go. Should be in this one. And again, with knowing the ship backwards and forwards and left, right, and center forward, it does get a little interesting. All right, it says 124 then. Okay. Where is 124? Do we have a 124 on here? Oh, there we are. Okay. Go from the inside. Got the two little red marker things on the side of the bridge dome. Let's see what's going on here. That into place if I can. How do these fit in there? Can't quite see. I think they're going sideways. Let's see. Yeah. We can just press that in. And again, like a lot of these things, this is a tight enough fit. I don't think I'm going to need glue in that. There. Do the other side. Whoops. Helps if it doesn't stick to your finger. Or get embedded in your thing there. Oh, come on, you. already. Yeah, that looks good. I might go in there with a dab of glue afterwards, but see that there? That there? Just push them right in the side there, and that's it. Tight enough fit. That's not going anywhere. And let's see about those windows. Let's see. And it's kind of thing again. It's like having to refer to the directions. And it's like, well, I know that part. That's, this is. Okay, we're looking for 123, 120, no, 122, 123, and then 100. So these will be straight clear parts. Really fun is when they decide to tangle each other up. I don't need this right now. Yeah. Go down here. Okay. Now, and get spiked. Got 11 when they get tangled and everything else here. Okay, yeah, 123, 122. That's 100. Okay, so we got these guys. I'm not going to worry too much about flash on the side because it's an interior part. So there we go. Let's get that in place. And again, with considering how brittle clear parts are, it's best not to try the twist and turn until they snap off thing, because that's how you end up with like half a piece. Just like use a blade or snips or something. No. There we go. At least enough so they can at least detach one half of the operation, and then you can get some actual progress doing the other half that way. But yeah, when you're trying to do both, and you're asking for a disaster at that point. Okay, there's still some parts down here that go to something which I will discover later as I go on. Some parts I can tell, oh yeah, that goes there. And other parts I have no idea what this is. Here. Okay, and this will need to be secured. Somehow just a little too big. There. But everything lines up nicely with little notches in here. Little notches on either side there. So once you got it, you got it. But somehow, yep, that's going to need to be secured a bit. I think that will do for now. Glue in the other side of the thing. There's that. It'll be it'll have 2 or 3 gloss coats and dull coats over it, so it'll be nice and frosted over by the time it gets close to finished. So I'll figure out how to best go about that. If I was going to do the bridge interior, it would be facing straight forward. I've been one of the louder advocates for that particular model. But the bridge faced forward. That's what they thought on the show. How it worked behind the walls with the turbo lift and all that stuff, that wasn't their concern. They were working on doing a good story, not a NASA documentary on spaceship construction. So. Whole thing of the bridge facing off to there is an indication that they did consider the issue a bit when they did Where No Man Has Gone Before, because it's a subtle thing, most people miss it, but if you look at the way the bridge is in the pilot, the captain's chair is not lined up directly with that gap in the thing. It's swung a little bit kind of cheating towards the turbo lift, but they figured it's not enough to make it, it's like, no, it's just put it back where it goes. It kind of ruins the design. And again, who cares what happens behind those walls, okay? That's a hint to wrap up. Okay, yeah, but yeah, they were making a sci-fi show, not a NASA documentary. So what happened behind the wall? You figure it out. We're trying to do a story here. Anyway. Work is finally progressing. When I have something more substantial to think and probably plot out a little more, I'll put it up here. But that's starting to get going here. Actually glue things together. So, on that note, we will talk at you later.